Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. So I've been wanting to make a video talking about all of the book events, the book signings that I've been to so far this year in 2024. And I'm finally making it. Also, I do apologize if my voice sounds a little weird or nasally, but that's because my nose is currently stuffed up. But anyway, I've been to 2 romance book signings so far this year, plus I also went to the LA Times Festival of Books. I was planning on making this video sometime last month, but then time got away from me, and then I got to a point where I was like, do people still even want to hear about these book signings that I went to? It's been like a month and a half, but I still have a bunch of b-roll, a bunch of footage from those events, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna still make this video even if it's a little late. I also wanted to share all the books that I got at these signings, my little book signing haul. So yeah, let's get into it. So the 2 main book signings that I've been to so far in 2024, I went to ApollyCon in DC, which is hosted by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one is a romance book signing, a lot of fantasy romance authors, but there are still some contemporaries. And this one I really like because there's a good mixture of both indie and traditionally published authors. It's been about 2 years since the last time I went to ApollyCon. I decided to skip last year in 2023 because I went to Book Bonanza in Texas. I really try to limit myself to one like big signing that's not on the West Coast. At least for the signings that I have to travel for, I try to limit myself to just one a year. So I didn't want to do both ApollyCon and Book Bonanza in the same year because that would be a lot of traveling, a lot of vacation days that I did not have. So last year was the first year I decided not to go to ApollyCon, so I really missed it, and I'm so glad that I went this year in 2024. It was such a fun time. Okay, first off, let me show some cute b-roll of me traveling, of me reading on my Kindle, waiting for the plane. On the plane, I read my arc of King of Sloth by Anna Huang. It was an arc. Obviously, the book has since come out, but I was really excited to get an arc of King of Sloth. I also got access to some airport lounges, which was really exciting. I was genuinely so looking forward to trying them because I got a new credit card, a new travel credit card, and it gave me access to a bunch of different airport lounges. So I did that, and then I landed in DC after a long while. It's always such a pain traveling from West to East Coast, and also losing so much time too with the time difference. I always arrive so late in DC or on the East Coast. So one major change with the ApollyCon this year was that the organizers decided to move to a bigger space, to a farther space. So originally the hotel that they chose over the last few years for ApollyCon was fairly close to the airport to DCA, and there was a shuttle from the airport to the hotel, which was really nice and convenient. But now that the convention is a little further away, I think it's at the National Harbor, so it's at the Gaylord Hotel, which is massive. It does take a little bit to get from the airport to the hotel now, so you definitely need to call an Uber or something. But it was such a pretty place. It's literally, you know, on the harbor. It's on the Potomac River, and the hotel is very big and very pretty. So just be aware of that. You definitely need to call a car if you don't have your own car, and it's not going to be cheap. And speaking of not cheap, the hotel is also very not cheap. It's a lot more expensive than the previous hotel for ApollyCon just because it's such a bigger and nicer place. It is very pretty, and yes, if you got tickets to ApollyCon, you get the room block rate, but you know, just prepare to spend a little bit if you decide to go to ApollyCon in the next few years. So for ApollyCon, I actually did not attend as a reader. I attended as a table assistant, a vendor assistant. I assisted Mystic Box and the Arcane Society, and oh my goodness, we had so many pre-orders. It was kind of crazy. Mystic Box actually had to get 2 tables just to fit all the books that they brought. And unfortunately there was a little mishap that happened because there's an entire pallet of books that just decided not to show up. They were never delivered to the hotel, so we never had them, and a bunch of attendees did not get to pick up their pre-orders, but they were eventually sent copies on their own. But besides that, we had such a good time. I love the Mystic Box team. I love Kate. We were pretty busy the entire weekend, the entire signing, but we did get the chance to stop by some nice restaurants, get some good food, get some drinks as well. So that was fantastic. I mean, if you couldn't tell from the few vlogs that I post, I do like to include a lot of the food that I eat on my travels. So, you know, here's some more food that I ate while I was in DC. Before I get into the rest of this video, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Lacey Blake and her brand new release, My Royal Showmance. My Royal Showmance is a standalone in the Park Avenue Promise series, which is about 3 young women who make a pact back in high school to always be friends and to also make it big in Manhattan one day. So this book is about Annika and how she wants to work her way up at a production company, and in order to achieve her dreams she has to pose as a production assistant at this dating show and report back to her boss. The hero is actually a prince of this tiny European country which has been struggling, so he's kind of forced to join this dating show to bring tourism to his country. So this prince is trying to find his princess on the show, and the heroine, she originally was supposed to be a production assistant, but then one of the contestants drops out and she has to replace her. So we have a dating show romance with a literal prince hero. If you're a fan of royal romances, then definitely be sure to check out My Royal Showmance. I'll leave a link down below for you to grab yourself a copy. A big thank you to Lacey Blake for sponsoring today's video. Honestly, when I showed up that first morning, I was amazed by the amount of books that we had delivered to the hotel. There was a lot, like a lot, but the books were so beautiful. All the stunning special editions that Mystic Box and the Arcane Society had exclusively for this event, they were unbelievable. So there was J. Bree, The Crown of Oaths and Curses. There was the entire Monsters and Muses series by Savar Miller, Order of the Scorpions by Ivy Asher, Tablita Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker, and River of Rain by C.E. Ritchie. So yeah, I am super obsessed with all these editions, all these special editions. Unfortunately, I could not afford all of them, so I did only get a couple. But the one that I was the most excited about was absolutely 100% the J. Bree one. So here is The Crown of Oaths and Curses. It is still shrink wrapped. I haven't taken these off yet, opened these. Okay, look how unbelievable this is. Oh my god, all the shiny silver foil. Absolutely stunning. And then the sprayed edges. Gorgeous. So I freaking love this book, and I still need to read the sequel actually, which is finally out. But here is the other side of the dust jacket, the alternate dust jacket, which is also very pretty. And here is the naked hardcover with all of the shiny foiling. It's like so reflective over here, but I am in love. The inside is just as pretty. Like, look at this. Look at this. So yes, I love it. If you have not read this book yet, it is J. Bree's first fantasy romance. It's the first book in her new fantasy romance series, and it is slow burn to the max. Like, there's barely any romance here, but I was still so into it. I got so hooked like midway through the book. The first half is a struggle, I will admit. It's very slow, lots of world building, info dumping, but once you can make it to the second half, that's where everything picks up, everything comes together, and you see the potential of the epic romance. It's very much enemies to lovers, and I always say that this first book is very heavily just the enemies part so far, and this hero puts the heroine through the ringer, and I cannot wait to see him grovel in the second book, just beg on his knees for her. So yeah, this was the special edition that I got. And then I also got River of Rain by C.E. Ritchie. This is an omnibus, it's a duet. So it's a pretty thick book since it's 2 books in one. I have yet to read C.E. Ritchie still, but I've heard really good things, which is why I decided to get this. I believe this one is an MM romance. I actually have no idea what it's about, but I got it. And it's so pretty again. All the shininess. Oh my god, I feel like I'm a freaking crow or something. Like, anything shiny, I want it. All the silver trees on the back, and the quote, it says, "Until every star in the night sky burns out, and maybe even then." And then these are the sprayed edges. And the inside, I also love it. We're sticking with the tree theme. So the naked hardcover, here's the front, the spine, and the pretty back, and here's the inside artwork. I keep telling myself to not buy special editions of books that I haven't read and just stick to my favorites, but clearly that didn't work here. And then this last special edition, okay, technically this wasn't an exclusive for ApollyCon, but there were some extras that Mystic Box had on sale at DC. Like they sold whatever extras they had from a previous signing at ApollyCon, and this was one of them, The Arranged Marriage by Monica Murphy. This one I had to get because this cover was calling me. It's so pretty. I love it. I love this artwork. The foiling once again. Here's the spine, and then the back. Sprayed edges as well. Some really pretty flowers and doves. And the ring for the arranged marriage. And this is what the naked hardcover looks like. So shiny once again. And yeah, this book I also haven't read yet, but I couldn't resist a pretty book, okay? I mean, if you look at the shelf behind me, these are all of my special editions. Actually, not all, just some of my special editions. And clearly, I cannot resist a pretty book. So that was my little Mystic Box, the Arcane Society book haul, special edition book haul. I did also pick up some other books, picked up my pre-orders from other authors, so I'll show those in a little bit. Working as an assistant this year, like for the first time, was such an interesting experience. I would definitely do it again, and plus I did get to see like mostly all of the authors that I wanted to see at ApollyCon. So let's see, who did I meet? I met Jay Bree, Sophie Lark, Scarlett St. Clair, Lola Rock, who I was the most excited to see because I'm obsessed with her Pack Darling series, and it was my first time meeting her as well, and she is the sweetest. I saw CM Nescosta, LJ Shen, Jennifer L. Armentrout, Carissa Broadbent, QB Tyler, Rebecca Yarros. This was my first time meeting Rebecca Yarros ever since Fourth Wing came out. I've seen her like once or twice before she got so big, but it was really nice seeing her again. I also saw Laura Thalassa, my love, and a bunch of BookTube and Bookstagram friends. So me and Jessica from Peace Love Books. I don't know if you know this, but I co-host a book club with her. We've been doing this book club, Ravished by Romance, for like 5 years now. It's been a long time, and I've known her for a very long time. So we actually decided to visit a garden in DC. It was called Dumbarton Oaks Garden. That was a really fun experience. I always love visiting gardens whenever I travel, just seeing all the pretty flowers. There wasn't anything like crazy blooming when we went there. It was a bit cold, and I think it had just rained like before we landed in DC, but there was still some nice flowers, got some nice cute photos, so I would recommend visiting that garden if you're ever in DC. Ooh, okay, so I was very excited to meet Jay Bree because she's one of my favorite romance authors. I am obsessed with her Bonza Tai series, The Crown of Oaths and Curses, and she hosted a little brunch thing, kind of like afternoon tea style, just little bites of things, champagne. So that was really sweet of her to host that, and everything was set up so nicely. I will never turn down a good food experience whenever I travel. Alrighty, so this is my ApollyCon book haul. I didn't go too crazy. I only got these 4 books. I really did not want my wallet to be crying at the end of this event, alright? So here's what I got. Here is this special edition of What Was Meant to Be by QB Tyler. This one was made by Hello Lovely Box. It's this really nice, pretty paperback with some shiny foiling, and I do love this book. I love QB Tyler. She's like the queen of forbidden romances, and her smut is crazy good. I had to order myself this special edition of Milked by CM Nescosta, and yes, that is a freaking minotaur on the cover because it's a minotaur romance, it's a monster romance, and somehow I adore it so much. So this is actually 2 books in one. I've only read the first one, which is Morning Glory Milking Farm. This book took me away by how much I loved it. And then the second book is A Blue Ribbon Romance, which is kind of a sequel, kind of more like a retelling of book 1 from the hero's point of view. So this one, I guess, is a sort of tandem read, like a reading experience, but it's so cute. I think this cover is adorable. I mean, if you can make a minotaur look cute, that's amazing. And then there's this pink foiling, pink silver foiling. Here is the adorable back cover, the yellow pinkish sprayed edges, and then the heart and papers with the author's signature. And then this one is the Pack Darling Omnibus by Lola Rock. This is 2 books, the 2 books in the series in one hardcover, and I couldn't resist getting it just because I love this duology so much. Book 2 is groveling heaven. So this duet is Omegaverse and it is reverse harem. So one heroine with 5 guys, and I love them all. It is so good. I also got some not safe for work artwork, which I won't show too closely in case things get demonetized, but yeah, they're from R.L. Calder. Never read her, but I think I might need to now after seeing these these prints. Oh, when I saw Jennifer L. Armentrout, she had these prints at her table. These are not safe for work art prints. These are very safe for work and they're very pretty. This one is for Fall of Ruin and Wrath, which is one of my favorite reads from last year. I loved it. I cannot wait for the sequel. It's such a fantastic fantasy romance with a very intriguing, dark-ish, roguish hero. And this one says Hall of the Gods, which I'm guessing is in reference to her Blood and Ash world. And the last book that I got at ApollyCon, my last sort of exclusive, because I really just stuck with special editions. This is the Falling into the Forbidden collection. It's an anthology. It's got a bunch of different authors. It's got short stories from Holly Renee, R.L. Calder, Laura Thalassa, Amanda Boucher, Eliza Rain, Karina Halley, Jenna Wolfhart, and Jen L. Gray. The only reason I really got this is because of Laura Thalassa, but hey, it's a pretty paperback to have. So yes, ApollyCon was a very fun, very busy 2-day experience. I'm already looking forward to going back in 2025. ApollyCon just released their author lineup and I'm kind of internally screaming. So they have J.R. Ward and Nalini Singh, who are 2 of my all-time favorites, and they were actually supposed to go to ApollyCon back in 2020, but then obviously the pandemic hit, so that got canceled. So this is a signing that we were supposed to get like 4 years ago, and I am so excited. If any of you went to ApollyCon this year, let me know your thoughts. I didn't go as a reader, so I can't really say how things went exactly for the attendees, especially in this new location and this new hotel, but it seemed like everything went pretty well. Oh my goodness, when I actually flew back home from DC, back to California, the hotel was so massive that I saw it from the airplane. It's kind of crazy. So that was my ApollyCon DC experience this year. Had a ton of fun, but thankfully this next signing that I went to was local. It was in SoCal. It was hosted by the Arcane Society, which was the book box that I worked for at ApollyCon. They hosted their own little mini signing for their fantasy romance authors in Huntington Beach. I was originally going to attend the signing as a reader. I bought my VIP ticket and everything, but then Kate, the book box owner, asked me to help out with the event, to be a table assistant and author assistant, and I said yes. I said yes very quickly. So I was there assisting Elizabeth Briggs, who is so wonderful, so funny, such a sweet person. She has so many different fantasy romances, paranormal romances. There's wolf shifters, dragon shifters, I think there's angels, just so many different series, so many different books that I need to read more of. But yeah, I helped set up her table. There was a little author panel at the beginning of the signing for the VIP ticket holders. And then J. Bree had her own exclusive drink available, like her own exclusive cocktail, which I thought was fantastic. It was called the Elixir of the Fates, which is based off of the Crown of Oaths and Curses, her Immortal Fate series. But the drink was great. There was a little buffet, and I did get to meet all of the authors at the signing. There was only like 6-ish fantasy romance authors, so it was a pretty small signing, a lot smaller than ApollyCon, which had, I don't know, I want to say 50, 80 authors, if not more. So this was small and intimate, a very nice size signing, to be honest. And for a first-time book signing hosted by BookBox, it went pretty well. There was a crazy line though for Ivy Asher. I truly did not know that Ivy Asher had so many fans, but now I really need to read her. She seemed really popular with everyone, and she was hilarious too on the panel. And at the end of the signing, there was this really nice dinner for the authors, for the Mystic Box team, for all the assistants. So that was a nice way to end everything. And it was also very nice having to only drive like 20-30 minutes to get back home instead of taking a 6+ hour flight. As for my haul for the Huntington Beach signing, I really only ordered one book, and it was this signing special edition of The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. If you couldn't tell, I love this book just with how many editions I have of it now. So this one is the author's own exclusive. It is so nice, so shiny and pretty. It's a thick book. It's well over 600 pages, so it's a long book, but definitely worth the read. And then here is the inside with the author's signature. And because I got the VIP ticket, that ticket also came with some swag and some books. So first off, this really nice bag from J. Bree, which I love using. There's actually stuff in it right now, which I won't show, but I use this all the time. It's nice and big and roomy, and plus there's a little clasp to close it at the top. Okay, so for swag, I have this romantic reader notepad, a metal bookmark from the Arcane Society. I got 3 cute little pins. One of them is actually a war from the Four Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. I got some notebooks for author signatures from the Arcane Society. I think they sell these at their shop, or at least they've been selling them at the signings that they've been at. And it's really handy, like if you don't have any books for authors to sign, but you want to still meet them and possibly get something signed, these notebooks, or any notebook really, would be really, really handy. And of course, there are also some books in the goodie bag. So this one is Midlife Bounty Hunter by Shannon Mayer, who is one of the authors at the signing. I don't know if this is exclusive or anything, a special limited edition, but it's this really nice hardcover with foiling on it, some sprayed edges. These are the end papers, which look really cool, and the naked hardcover has this really nice emblem on it with the author's signature. This is the other side of the dust jacket. I've never read this one. I have not read Shannon Mayer before, but if you have read her, let me know what you think. And then there's this hardcover arc of A Cage of Crimson by K.F. Breen, who I also still have not read. It's a shifter romance. There's fated mates. There is some kidnapping involved. It sounds very, very fun, actually. It's like a dark paranormal romance. So maybe this will be my first book from this author. And the special edition that I was definitely the most excited to get in this bag is yet another special edition of The Crown of Oaths and Curses by J. Bree. So yes, I have 1,000,001 editions of that book now. This one is a paperback exclusive, so here's a front cover, and this is the back. No shiny foiling here, but I will still happily take it. That's not all of my haul from the Huntington Beach signing though. I still got 2 more books. These are not part of the VIP bag or anything, but I did get myself a book from Elizabeth Briggs, who I assisted at the book signing. So this is the first book in her Zodiac Wolves series. It's called Moon Touched, and this is the hardcover edition. I think you can order this off of Amazon. Amazon is now selling these awesome special editions. So this one has these really cool edges, and then the naked hardcover is also very pretty. So this is a wolf shifter romance, and hopefully I'll get to it soon. And the last book of this sort of mini haul is this absolutely incredible special edition of From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this one was made by the Arcane Society, and I got to pick it up at their warehouse, but it was actually a sort of bonus book for people at ApollyCon who had one of the higher tier tickets. It was like a surprise book for them in their swag bag, this gorgeous special edition of a very beloved series. Thankfully though, if you didn't go to ApollyCon, you will still get your chance to get your hands on this book and the whole series, because the Arcane Society is gonna have these on sale eventually. But look how unbelievable this edition of From Blood and Ash is. It's easily my new favorite edition of this book now. Of all the special editions, of all the different copies that this book has, this is my new favorite. It is so pretty, and the sprayed edges are really nice too. These are what the end papers look like, and then let me show you the naked hardcover too, because that's equally just as gorgeous. Just look at this. I'm so obsessed. So the artwork on this naked hardcover is stunning. All the gold foiling is really nice. I really love the bone knife. Probably my favorite thing about this special edition is the artwork on the other side of the dust jacket, which looks like this. You get to see the heroine, Poppy, in all of her stunning glory. The artist did such an amazing job on creating this. So yes, this edition is easily the prettiest one out of all the different editions that From Blood and Ash has, and I cannot wait to be able to buy the rest of the series now. So that was how things went for me for the Arcane Society signing at Huntington Beach. Sometimes it's really nice to just go to a smaller signing, not have to worry about getting overwhelmed, seeing all the authors that you want to see. This one you can easily see all authors because there's like 6. Oh, and I mentioned earlier, I went to the LA Times Festival of Books, and there I got to meet Jessie Q Sutanto, who I adore. I freaking love her Auntie series. So I got to meet her, get my book signed there, and I also got to see Julie Soto again. I saw her last year at Steamy Lit, saw her again this year. She's so sweet. I don't know if I would call it a signing, but that book event was also very fun. Something that I try to go to every year now just because it is local, it's in LA, and there are always a couple bookstore vendors that invite romance authors like The Ripped Bodice. They were the ones who invited Jessie Q Sutanto, and Steamy Lit invited Julie Soto. So there's always some authors there that I like to see. But that's all I have for the book events that I've been to so far in 2024. If you guys have any questions about these events that I went to, please feel free to ask me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I really just wanted to sit down and chat about these book signings that I went to and how I had so much fun at them. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!